Well, after that exit in the Cup to Southampton, it's a huge week for Williams now. Pressure on this South Wales derby. Many people are saying, why don't you start more youth players? And plus, with a backline now injured, what on earth does he field at the Cardiff City Stadium? Welcome to Swans Walk. We're also choosing our December Player of the Month. AI is predicting the rest of the home fixtures for Swansea, and we're also talking about who the worst ever Swansea City 11 were. We've got Rich back with us, back from illness. Well, good to see you again, Rich, and of course Hugh and James are back alongside us. Thank you very much for watching. Do drop us a subscribe. It always helps us. It's so hard to grow content on anything on YouTube, but we massively help you. Thank you for watching and helping us grow. Right then, Rich, Luke Williams is under pressure, and no one expected him to win at Southampton, but was it the manner of the defeat that have got fans a little bit irked?
Yeah, well, I was ill last week and I'm sick as a dog today. So after yesterday's performance, that was dreadful. It was just nothing there, was it? It was the team selection was wrong to start, I think. Like you've already touched upon, perhaps there should have been a few more of the youngsters given a shot. But the centre-half pairing, we worry ahead of next week with that one. Not good enough.
Just touching on that, so Jack B says, where were Govia and Wilson? A few youth players signed new contracts in recent weeks, yet none were in sight. We didn't even bring Lloyd off the bench to gain valuable experience. Now the first team is even more fatigued. We used to develop players. Now we ruin careers. I've got to say, guys, the Swansea Twitter this week has a lot of venom in it than it usually has. There seems to be a lot of anger still in this fan base, and maybe it's unfairly going towards Williams, but I'm even as a neutral, I'm picking up a lot of resentment going on at the moment. James, what's your take on the game and the fallout?
So I could have accepted that result if we'd blooded a couple of youngsters in there, because again, it's just a chance to get some minutes into them. We had Carell Wilson sign his pro contract this week as well. Don't understand it. Really don't understand it. They've got a lot of good, young, exciting attacking players, and that's exactly what we needed yesterday. I think the backlash is warranted, because once again, he's going off in these weird tangents in his post-match comments. He said that he had no qualms about the effort yesterday. I scarcely believe only 2 or 3 of our squad actually put the shift in yesterday. Team selection just balmy. His comments are borderline insanity, if I'm being honest. I think he must be seeing a completely different game to us fans. Player management is something that I'm really not happy with as well. Again, the only youngster he seems to look at is Azim Abdullah. He plays out of position. And special shout out to, he took Jan Vapotnik yesterday, whose wife gave birth in the early hours of the morning, only to sit him on the bench and not use him at all. So cracking man management from Williams there.
Cheers for that, James. There's more, Hugh. Bobby says, man's out there putting 4 fullbacks on the pitch in front of the second choice keeper. If you'd put out a tidy size, you wouldn't have to make excuses. And Kevin said there was no fight. There's no fight at all. And he's asked him to stay out the effing dressing room next week and send Wyndham Evans and Lee Trundle in there instead. Effing idiot. God, I mean, that was just the small flavour of how annoyed fans were. You get it, Hugh, don't you?
Yeah, it wasn't a good performance, and it was even worse team selection. I was thinking about the worst goalkeeper position earlier on, as if you were doing the worst 11, and I think we've got a brand new candidate after yesterday's performance. I don't know what he was thinking coming out for that clearance when the defender had it covered and it got lobbed. Honestly, I turned off after 25 minutes when the second goal went in. Don't do that often, but I just couldn't be asked. There was just nothing in it. We hadn't turned up. And Luke Williams didn't care, so why should I?
All eyes on Saturday then, Rich. We spoke to our Cardiff lot on the equivalent view of this. They're excited for this one. They genuinely think this could be a 2 or 3-0 scoreline. Do you understand their positivity?
Nah. We always lose before we have a derby. It's classic Swansea. We kind of have a bit of a bad build-up to the game. The Cardiff fans give a chat. They love a bit of that, don't they? They're going to win every time, aren't they? They've beaten us the last 20 million times, apparently. So, no, we'll come into the game and we will be confident to come and bounce back. Now, we've got our issues, but I'm sure the boys are all ready for this one. They're chomping at the bit because we didn't play at Southampton as well. It just gives them that much more hunger to prove a point.
Okay, they've got a game midweek as well to sort out before they get there. I think. James, though, what heaven forbid it would happen, but the fan base is just going to flip its head this weekend if Cardiff were to win 2-0, for example.
Well, I'll be really honest with you, and I can see it if that were to happen. I don't want that to happen at all. There's nothing worse than losing to those lot. It's just like, when they win, they love it. But if he loses this game, and he loses it in the manner in which that we've lost to Hull, we lost to Southampton, he is going to get, and the gents here will know what I'm talking about, he's going to get the Michael Duff treatment up there when we lost 2-0. It'll turn toxic. So there is massive pressure on him for Saturday now, and he's already under it. If Cabango and Darling are out, it's looking like it could go either way.
Yeah. Should we look at a positive, Hugh, from the game on Sunday before we wrap this conversation up? Josh Kinley, 478 days since his last appearance, made his return from injury. Was that a welcome positive in an otherwise forgettable game?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's like a new signing. Effectively, he's been out for so long. We saw him play a couple of times, League Cup, and then he got injured against Sheffield Wednesday or Huddersfield, I can't remember. And then, he's been out since. And, he scored a couple of screamers for us in the few games he did play. So I'm excited to see what he can do. I just hope he stays fit and doesn't have any reoccurrence of his knee injury.
Yeah, okay. Let's have a look then at when your last time he played Cardiff. This was, of course, the reverse fixture. Back in August, which is seems such a lifetime ago, doesn't it? Rich, when you look at that Swansea side that were put out on that as a Sunday afternoon game, I think, wasn't it? If I remember rightly, how much progress have we made as a side since that sunny August Sunday afternoon? Comparing the team on the screen to the team where we are now.
Well, the team that's there is the team pretty much that's there now, apart from Cullen's dropped into where Cooper was from his injury, and then they sort of shifted the strikers around. But yes, as a unit, they've sort of settled in together a lot more. They've gelled as a team. Recent performances have been a bit up and down, but we were robbed on that day. We should have had the 3 points then, and we're going to get them this week. I'm sure of it.
I love your positivity. I've never seen
always got to be positive.
Never seen Swansea side so nervous. Fans about so nervous about this fixture. You've usually got them, haven't you? All right, then let's leave the FA Cup there for 1 second. First of all, you're not gutted about the draw, James, either, given how the draw went for Southampton. You probably wouldn't have minded missing Burnley at home, would you?
No, looking at it that way, it wouldn't have got me all excited for it, and it's about as drab as you can get it, if I'm being honest. So maybe we are fortunate to be out of it.
Okay. All right, then let's move on to other topics. Then, first of all, December Player of the Month from each of you, if that's okay. I mean, if you can pick one, that is. It was a up and down month for you, Hugh. Who would you? I know the club have already done theirs, but who would you have given it to?
For me, it was between Cullen and Franco. I'm going to go with Franco just because I think he's just the best player of the team by distance. And when he does play football.
Yeah, good shout. Rich?
Harry Darling for me. Just the performances at the back. He's just been so solid. Even though he's out of contract in the season, he could well be on his way. We don't know. But he's outstanding. He's improved so much as a player, I think. I think they should be chucking money at him to keep him at the club.
Absolutely. Of course, on all other podcasts, we've been asking other fans for their transfer predictions, and his name has come up in at least 3 of them. Bristol City, Derby County, I think, and was it Millwall? I can't remember the other one, but certainly his name is out there. James, for you?
It's going to be the Kilgetty Messi. Got to be Liam Cullen for me. He's been superb through December. Deserves it. He's got parts of his game which I didn't even realise were possible. So, yeah, he's got it for me.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. We have asked AI to predict all Swansea City's remaining fixtures. Let's have a quick look at them on the screen before we jump into their predictions. And when you look at that, Hugh, obviously Sheffield United to come, but I don't see anything on there which is not which is not at all winnable, is it? I mean, even even the Burnley game. I mean, you gave them a really good game at Turf Moor. And then after that, look at that run: Derby, Plymouth, Hull, and Oxford. The last four home games. So if you can just sort your act out together, there could be a bit of a late playoff push here, couldn't there?
I wouldn't go that far. I think that's ambitious. That's a generous AI prediction there. But yeah, I'd be happy with that. I can't see us getting that many the way we're playing at the moment. But depends on January if we get any players in. We need some depth, which we just do not have at the moment. And I think we're 1 or 2 injuries away from going the wrong way down the table.
Okay. AI says 21 points, Rich, which would, squarely, I think, with a couple of away wins, put you well within a shout. Would you? I mean, they're not watching you at the moment, of course, but you'd take that, wouldn't you?
I think AI's a bit of a jack. I think he's he's got a few results on the go there. Win against Borough, bloody hell, and I think it's about 7 wins on there. I think. Yeah. How bad we've been at home at times. It's only recently we picked up, started picking up. So it's a tough one. I think someone said the other day really about the position of the Swans, and they said really, are you going to go for playoffs? Potentially, you could try have a bash. Is it going to happen realistically? Probably not. Are we going to go down? Probably not. But we're going to be about in the middle. And I think where we are now is probably about right. And I think that's probably about the end of the season now. You think, unless investment is made, that's where we'll be.
Okay. Yeah, you're still only 8 points off the playoffs, James. Anything can happen, though, can't it? If you beat Cardiff this weekend, I think you're still my dark horses to do something, but I do worry about the manager situation. It seems to have imploded since West Brom's sacked Corberan, and there's just I've got a really bad feeling for you about this weekend. I don't know why.
I think it's just indicative of us as a club. Every time we get our act together and we look like we're doing something, especially the last couple of years, there's always some really bizarre set of events that kind of just kick us off the right track. And this came out of nowhere. If this didn't happen, I think that that battering at Portsmouth, we don't get it. Williams, if he's a bit more street smart in the press conferences, I'm still confident about Saturday because they can't buy a win against us unless we've got the worst football manager in history managing us. So I still think we'll do them Saturday.
Okay. I just want to ask you all about this this cup announcement as well. That the Welsh Cup will be essentially going ahead, of course, with you guys and Newport County and Wrexham and so on. There's going to be a place for the winner in Europe. We briefly mentioned it before, but that was when it was this early stages. Hugh, have you warmed to this idea at all?
A bit 50-50, to be honest, Mark. I mean, I can see the positives of it getting into Europe, but we could barely string a squad together as it is for Championship, let alone an additional competition, plus another one on top of that if we do well. So I'm a bit sceptical, but I can see some positives as well.
Okay. Rich, if you've had a chance to look at the format of it, I think what are your thoughts?
Yeah, Hugh's got valid points there, really. Squad depth is the thing, but you can also look at it as a way of giving blood in the youngsters and give them extra opportunities. And it's the added income and attraction of players from abroad to come and play in Europe. So, there is benefits, but there's also negatives. And as well, you look at a case of if we do go back into the Premier League, then you kind of taken away all the high flying positions away for your targets to get into Europe. So you kind of think, how do you balance that out, and what's realistic?
Okay. You'll have seen all the narrow-minded English responses, James, to this suggestions, I'm sure, on Twitter, which has ranged from, well, kick them out of the EFL now if they're going to go for that, to whatever next. Replace, I think one was saying, well, kick them and Cardiff out and have Celtic and Rangers in the league instead. Just ridiculous. Are you on board with this idea?
Yeah, I think that, again, for a transfer perspective, it'll be good for us. Again, it boosts Wales' coefficient in the UEFA rankings, which is always a good thing as well. Again, the squad side of it is what concerns me. We're bunging midfielders on the wing. Next thing, you'll have John McLaughlin playing up front against some team from Romania, probably now. But yeah, I can get on board with it. Like I said, I think it could only be a good thing in terms of attracting players to us as well.
Okay, all right. Well, you've all turned a little bit around on that since we last spoke, but which is all good. Finally, then it's November. Was it November? It really isn't. It's definitely January. It's cold. It's miserable. So of course we're flipping that on its head and asking, who are the worst Swansea City 11 in the Championship era? Obviously, there's a little bit as the Premier League as well. I'm starting, of course, this week with goalkeepers. So we're looking for the. We've done the good. Let's do the bad now, as we're in the rotten month of January. Next week we'll be looking for the top two strikers that should play in a 4-4-2 formation in our worst 11. So get your thinking caps on for that. Hugh, who'd you stick in net in a worst ever Swansea City side of the last 20 years?
Only in the Championship.
Well, you can have Premier League era as well.
We've been blessed with a few brilliant keepers over the last 15, 20 years. I think for me, I'm probably going to go with the recent departure of Andy Fisher, just purely because some of the calamitous games he had. There's a couple more I could probably put alongside him, but I'll go with Fisher, I think.
All right. Rich?
Well, that guy on the weekend, not be funny. No, I can't be seeing him again.
Okay. James?
The one for me, a bit of an obscure one, probably Erwin Mulder, because he wasn't particularly great at anything. He was just okay at most things, but I tend to remember a lot more of the games where perhaps he didn't do the right things. And I think I remember that season we were chopping and changing between him and Nordfeldt, and I always used to have this kind of sick feeling in my stomach every time I saw him in there.
Yeah, good show.
All right, okay. Let us know in the comments who's the worst goalkeeper you've ever seen. Right, you lot, we'll all be watching Saturday, 12:30, 12:45, whatever it is, South Wales Derby. It's always a good one for the neutral to watch as well. Where am I this week? Have I got okay. No, our game's on Sunday, so yeah, I'll be able to sit and put my feet up and watch that one. You got your tickets in the end? Did they sort it all out? James and Hugh, you were saying last week that the club hadn't done anything. So you got your tickets sorted?
It's been a while. I live far east Wales, right on the border, so I tend not to bother with the away fixture because it's just a hassle for me getting bubbled in and out and then driving home again. So no, not for me. Okay, James, are you in the bubble?
Unfortunately not. Got a big game against Langeveld with our under-14s. Can't miss it, I'm afraid.
Okay. Rich, what about yourself?
I'll be telling.
Okay.
yeah, we'll be there.
Okay.
Maybe that's after.
Right. All right. Enjoy the game, folks. Good luck, and we'll see you on the other side of the South Wales Derby. Cheers, fellas.